Hey, Facebook. Happy Monday. Carrie Severson here. I am being joined with my soul sister and Spiritual Summit co-host Romina Hoda here in a minute. We're going to talk about springtime and storytelling and the Sister Summit event happening in Phoenix May 18th through the 20th. So let's see when she arrives. If you're watching live or you watch the replay, let us know where you're joining us from, where you are in the world. Hi.
Hello, everybody. Hi,
Carrie. Hi. I'm looking for, I want to share this quick in my group. So everyone, this is my friend Romina. She is an amazing, amazing individual who works with folks around the world to help them understand their purpose and live a more aligned life. And she and I, hi Catherine, she and I are creating the Sister Summit event in Phoenix, Arizona, May 18th and through the 20th with our partner, Jennifer McFarland out of Canada. So today we're talking about, it's March, first Monday in March, springtime is upon us, and we're going to touch on soul stories and how we can incorporate more inspired action in our stories for spring. I'm sharing this in my group really quickly. Yay! So Romina, do you want to talk a little bit about your audience and what you do?
Oops. Sure. Let me get myself up here. Okay, so we've collaborated together because we want to be a part of the global movement where women are coming together heart to heart and where we are co-creating our soul stories and co-creating our lives and co-creating our businesses and in a more aligned way, in a way that feels very authentic and a way that reaches heart to heart, and we reach more people through our authenticity and connections that are meant for us. I believe that everyone has a purpose, and those of us who feel a call to reach out and have our voices and our stories heard can really make a difference, and we need to refine that. And as humanity goes, communication's a big thing. Communication's a big thing. So learning to communicate through our accents and the highlights of our lives instead of the lowlights, and to reach out and come from a heart-centered space really makes a difference. So I like to help people find that inner space, find that beauty, that connection that's within them, and show them what they're made out of. That's a little bit about what I do. But we're talking about soul stories today, and Carrie and Carrie's got some good pointers for us as we step into the spring equinox, as we start moving forward into our goodness. So Carrie, take it away.
Very cool. Yeah, so my work is in helping women understand the stories that they're meant to share, the audience they're meant to share them to, and then walk them through everything from the idea of the story into if they're business owners, how to market that piece back into their business. Not everyone that comes to me wants to be published. Not everyone that comes to me wants to write a book, but that is a big part of what I do. And so my idea of soul stories are the pieces that we've spent a lifetime learning about, the elements of our life that we have the most lesson in. They're those pieces that light us up, the things that are sitting in our hearts and that we're supposed to express. And so communication is a really big key, obviously, for storytelling. One of my soul stories is entrepreneurship, is spirituality, and how I've bridged those two pieces. I love talking about spiritual practices and meditation, and then I love helping people express themselves. And so that's what I do. And what we want to add, so your soul story, you have many, but a soul story is really giving yourself to find a soul story, it's giving yourself the space to take a look around the day-to-day actions that you're doing and how you're living that story in your inspired action each day. So the day-to-day story that you create is a really important one. And that's really what we're doing at the Sister Summit event, is helping people understand that that soul story, that deep purpose, that inspired action that they can take every day to create different manifestations in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And so since we're blooming into soul stories can be created, and soul stories are also stories that you have as your life experience. And when you learn to find the golden nuggets in those, you have this beautiful gap or these beautiful spaces that you can co-create your life or your business or whatever it is you want into those spaces. And so we clear the way at the Sister Summit. We're going to be having a really wonderful sacred fire ceremony with the Phoenix energy, which is all about transformation. And I know that might be a little on the woo side for some of you, but really it's all about stepping into a heart space with each other and holding vision and really getting clear and listening with integrity and sharing the best of what we've got to hold that space and lift each other up. The power of a group is really amazing. So we're going to have this beautiful global sisterhood, and we're going to be sharing different things for that. But those of you who are looking to create soul stories, what are some of the things you are interested? Leave us some comments in the bottom. What are some things you want to co-create as we step into this new spring equinox time, as we step into March, as the snow starts to melt if you're in a cold place and the sun comes out and the flowers are blooming.
The flowers start to come out. Yeah, so earlier today, out to my group and my list, I was talking about things that I want to do differently in March. And one of the things I'm doing differently this month is giving myself permission to recognize my journey, which means I'm creating a little bit more space in my life. So giving myself, so today what I did was look at 10 inspired action items I've done already in 2018 to create different outcomes for myself in 2018. So I've booked 20 connection calls. I'm an entrepreneur, and so talking to people is part of I want to meet more people. I want to talk to more people. We sold seats at Sister Summit event, and we get to talk to women around the world. I delivered my 100th keynote. I booked another keynote. Like, these inspired action items help us create a different story on a day-to-day basis to bring in something new. And so what do you want to create in March? What do you want to create in the springtime? And recognize that if you want to create something new, you have to do something new. And that inspired action is how you're going to do it. So that's just a little tiny piece that we're going to bring to Sister Summit events. We're really excited for the women who are showing up and creating that environment with us. It's 3 days, March 18th through the 20th. The Wigwam is where we're going to be hosting it on the west side of Phoenix. Your ticket includes your meals, the workshops, the dinners that we're going to be having. And the
resort amenities.
What's that?
Resort amenities. You get use of everything there.
They have a lot of pools, golf courses, a bunch of things that you can enjoy.
Yeah, I'd like to say something too. So, you know, spring and the seasons, and if those of you who are entrepreneurs, or if you're in accounting or you work in a business, you have quarters, right? And for me, it's about seasons. And so the seasons kind of run in quarters as well. So this is the beginning of a new quarter or a new season for all of us. And so as Carrie was saying, if you want something different for 2018, and she shared her inspired actions that she's working on and taking, what are some of the things that you could do? Think of some things, even if you change just one thing in a week, to work on one thing in a week, you can create massive shift in your mindset, in your energy, in your heart, in your awareness, and how you view the world. Your perspective is everything. And a lot of times we get stuck in the old past stories, right? So in order to create a new story or let one bloom, we have to do something different. And like you said, you're creating space. You're creating space to do something new. So try not to rush yourselves, but hold yourselves at a steady pace that's comfortable for you when you're creating something new. That's something I cannot stress enough. And don't go it alone. Don't go it alone. You need support, either friends, a coach,
Yeah, for sure.
a group, a meetup, whatever, and make sure you feel good there, and make sure that people are supportive and uplifting for you. If people are talking negative to you, you might want to double check, because I've seen some of that off and on, and run away. Run away. Honesty is good, but honesty presented with integrity and kindness is a totally different thing than tearing you down or feeling threatened. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, you and I check in when we're creating something new, when we want to call in something new. You and I check in. We check in with Jen. The three of us have created a phenomenal alliance, really, and growing, this retreat, the summit together has been phenomenal. But then being able to sort of not lean on each other, but like show up in our own businesses and talk about what we're doing to create change in our own stories on a day-to-day basis has been really inspiring. And so just the three of us and the sisterhood that we've created here, I'm so excited for women to come to the event, to be able to experience that within the three of us, but then be able to create it amongst themselves too. So if you've never been to a spiritual or just a retreat in general, it's one of these magical little components that happen where the right people show up at the right time. You create amazing connections, and the circle that happens, like the sharing that happens in these spaces. Hey, Jen's here. The sharing that happens in these spaces is profound. It's very cool.
Transformational. There's no other way to put it. It's transformational. That's just it.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So if you guys are creating some changes in your lives, if you've got some things going on, we'd be glad to support you right here, right now, and maybe give you a positive word or a suggestion or something you could do to help you empower yourselves. Or we would just love to hear what changes are you creating for this next quarter, or this next season, or this next section of life. Because as it gets warmer and as that sun goes out, you're going to feel more and more inspired and more like you want to expand, and you're supposed to. So what's those stories? What are you going to create that's different, or what are you working on? We'd love to know. So share with us in the comments below.
We're getting some comments. I can't see it on my phone, but Jennifer is here. And then I have a lady. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. She's doing a storytelling course right now, and she loves it. I appreciate that. Karen, tell me what story you're creating. And that's perfect right now if you're doing a storytelling course of mine. What inspired action you're creating this month or this quarter to ensure that story get out into the world and be told. So that makes me super excited and very happy in my heart that what I created is helping you share your story. That's why we do this. And we're doing that at a really big, beautiful retreat too, in a group. So if you imagine you're going through a storytelling course and you're having all these aha moments, imagine how that feels in a group with 30 or 40 other women who are experiencing their own little shifts and aha moments. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And anybody, whether you're male or female on this live, because this isn't just for girls, just because we're talking about the summit retreat, if you're a guy and you're watching this too, it's no different for any of us with soul stories. Our soul stories are the experiences we've had and the experiences we choose to recreate and tell. Mm-hmm. Coming from a heart space, I'd love to just say, if you want to create this change, or there's something you want to find what matters to you, if it feels warm and it feels good, that's a good parameter. I'm a feeler, obviously. I feel
right. I am too. I use that language.
Yeah. And if you're a thinker and you're more analytical, because I'm pretty good at that, and Carrie's super analytical. She's got this really practical, amazing, organized mind that I'm so envious of, because I'm not that way. But if you're analytical, instead of just using the logic, notice if you feel it in your gut, because most people who are analytical, they go with their gut, and then the feelers go with their heart. So if there's like this extra connection, like an extra ambiance or an extra je ne sais quoi, or just an essence of it that seems more like it's more, then you're onto something. So that's one way you can tell if you're in the right direction, if that helps. So Hey, Gloria. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Gloria in ever. It's really good to see you. And Trisha, hi. Joanne, hey. And Julie, oh my gosh, we got some Tom's on, Karen's on. You guys, if you are creating soul stories, I would love to hear anything that you've got going on. But if you don't, that's okay too. Hi, Jen. We love Jen. Jen is the money medium, and she's also going to be a part of this group. And
Yeah,
she is holds such a powerful space for
abundance.
co-creation. She's really good at manifesting things, and not just things, but getting to what matters to you. Because a lot of times we think we want something, but the truth is we want something different. So
Yeah. And then Jen, I saw your comment about you getting out a media list today. So earlier in the live, I was talking about, inspired action. To create something new, you have to do something new. And so I'm spending more time this year on a quarterly basis, really recognizing what I have taken inspired action on, to just acknowledge the growth and acknowledge the journey. Because I think as leaders, we're consistently like, forward thinking, forward motion, what's next, what's next, what's next. We acknowledge the highlights, but really relishing in the milestones and in the accomplishment of the journey. And so I listed out 10 things I have done already this year. But action equals an opposite reaction. So inspired action is sort of my thing. And so today I pitched Success Magazine for the first time. I've never sent a story idea to them. And so I know what you're talking about when it comes down to scary pitching stories. It's not just something I teach, it's something I do regularly. So I feel you there. This is fun. Okay, so
yeah.
Karen, oh, that's so funny. Okay, Karen, I put one of my stories out across a few platforms last week, got an amazing response. Oh my gosh, that makes me incredibly happy. This is someone who's doing a storytelling course of mine. Shift was me getting in total alignment with my soul calling, the alignment connected with a beautiful soul lady today, and wanted to help me tell my story to connect with my tribe. Very cool. Congratulations. That's great. And then reaching out to media is the hardest thing for Jen to do. Why? Okay, so I know this answer actually, Jen. So when we're doing things like this, there's opportunity for things like this to go viral, and so you're talking to the masses, but there's still a controlled reach. But when you're putting yourself out there to have a story completely, when you're sharing outside of social media and you're sharing on a media outlet, the reaction, the idea that it could literally be seen by hundreds of thousands, if not millions, is a very different feeling than a social media post. And it's seen more than likely at the same time by these people. So I've been through that. Every time a story of mine has gone live, I'm not afraid of the pitching, but the moment that I know it's going live, there is this almost like a cocoon coming out, like a butterfly coming out. Like there is a shedding process that sort of happens emotionally or energetically. You're like walking through all the different things, and then getting in alignment with the fact that you can't control the audience's response is something else that I'm really good at. So Jen, don't be scared of pitching. Think of it as an opportunity to break through a glass ceiling and face it, embrace it, hug it, give it a kiss, and then pitch.
I love that. And that brings me to anything new that you're doing. So when you're going to do something new, like Harry talked about the things that she's done so far in 2018 to create a new life, to create a new change in her life. Anytime you do something new, you do run up, you get excited, you get inspired, and there's always this moment of, oh crap, what did I do? Or you take your breath, or sometimes it just paralyzes you and at a certain point, which is self-sabotage, and you can't move forward. So do expect that you're going to feel a little bit of apprehensive or a little anxiety about things. And when you do that, stop for a moment and congratulate yourself. Because I feel as a society, we do not celebrate nearly enough. Can you imagine if we got up and celebrated instead of bitching about things, how the world would be? Wow. even if we just celebrated 3 things in a day, it would totally change the energy of the way people relate and show up. But yeah, that fear is there, and it's growth. It's part of that. But I love how Carrie said, embrace it, take a moment, acknowledge it, and just congratulate yourself for getting that far. Sometimes just
Yeah.
acknowledging you're right there can give you the courage and the centeredness to move forward. Because what happens a lot of times is we automatically like step into a fear place, and when we're in fear we constrict, and when we're constricted, that stops the flow of movement. And when
Right.
we're not there, you stop, or you slow down so much that you miss the opportunity. So that puts you back in the center of your being and helps you move forward. So yay, I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And congratulations, Karen. That's pretty intense, and I
I
love
know,
it.
I love that.
That.
What's so funny, Jen, the idea that like when you're to the point where you're ready to pitch, you want to turn around and run the other way. When I was first starting my storytelling business, I used to say this a lot. The scarier the story for you to step into, the bigger the impact it's going to have. Because there is this, for me, there was this, it was like a threshold I would go through every time I would share a story that was so personal. I knew it was going to cause a reaction. I knew it was going to cause a transformation. And so I would imagine, Jen, that's probably what you're picking up on or feeling, is that you're at a point where this, whatever you want to pitch, is going to move you into a different like level or a different platform or something, a different avenue, open up something different for you. And knowing that your empath, you know, your empath skills are so in tune, I would imagine that if you're scared of something, you probably know that it's going to be powerful. So, but you should tell me, send me a note, tell me what you're pitching. I would love to hear about it. You know, today when I was sitting at the coffee shop, I got to the point where I was like, if I don't, I've known for about a week that there's a new story coming out, and then I want to share it. And it's an entrepreneur type story. In the past, I've written lifestyle kind of stories for women's media markets, but this one is very targeted towards the fact that I've been an entrepreneur for 8 years. I just passed my 100th keynote. I've learned a ton of lessons over those 8 years, but I'd love to be able to share what I've learned while standing live in front of an audience, right? So I recognized the story, and I knew if I didn't pitch it right then and hit send, I would find 1,000 other things to do, and then it would be next week and I still want to pitch. So my suggestion always is, if you know the story and you know the audience you want to tell it to, find whoever you need to pitch and pitch before you get to the point where you're like, I gotta go.
Yeah, and you can apply this. You can apply this to your own life. If you're not a storyteller, or you're not a speaker or an author, you can apply this to regular life. When you've got that inspiration, when you've got that idea, go for it. Go for it while you have the momentum, and before you start putting hurdles in your own way. While the energy's there, while the idea's there, go for it. And sometimes it's really hard to keep your focus, isn't it? Keeping your focus can be tough.
Yeah. There's I don't know who it is, but she's got this, 5 seconds of courage or 7 seconds of courage. Like if you're having a little fear attack, if you just count to 5, your brain will settle down and you'll be able to do whatever it is you want it to do. So I kind of incorporate that philosophy.
I'm all about deep breathing, so it's all good.
Yeah, you are. I do that too.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I have to pop off in just a minute. Is there any other questions or anything else anybody has to say before I pop off?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about Sister Summit events, I posted the link in the description. Tickets are available. Our early bird is open for a few more weeks. And if you'd like to book a call with us to talk about it before you book your seat, please message us. And we're more than happy to get on a Zoom call and introduce the 3 of us, Jen included, so you get to see and feel her vibe too. Otherwise, happy storytelling, happy spring, and happy soul.
Go out and bloom. Go out and bloom.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.